Welcome back, this is M-Dog, and we're fishing at Mosquito Lake here, and this is old school Mosquito Lake type spot. For those of you that were around for the redesigned Mosquito Lake, so back on the original Mosquito Lake, you'll remember that we used to have spots where they would sometimes pop off, right, and it would just be an opportunity to catch multiple trophies in the course of an overnight or an early morning session, right? And I would say this spot right now at New Mosquito is about as close to old Mosquito popping off as I've seen. Well, that was not a very nice fish. As I've seen since New Mosquito came out. So let me show you what I'm talking about, then we'll go over what we're fishing with exactly, the clip and the ground bait we're using. So this is in the order of fish we caught them. So it started off when it was still like afternoon, late afternoon. Started off a little odd. We had 4 fish in a row that are not crucian or gibbles, right? So there's some tench mixed in. So it's kind of interesting. We're going to occasionally see the tench pop in. Possibly could see some marker tench, I would say, but also going to see some small ones. Decent sized perch, white bream, which is always interesting with bream mixed in. And then the crucian started popping off, and it wasn't long till we saw a roach, a couple of marker roaches, but then the trophy crucian started. Here's one at 1.8, which is a nice size crucian. Be aware that common carp are possible here as well. Here's a 2.7. If you haven't fished for crucian a lot, when you get to 2.7, that's like big boy size crucian, right? Then we've got some more. Then we've got a gibble trophy, 2.3. Another crucian trophy, another crucian trophy, and all this in 31 minutes. Okay, so we're talking 5 trophies in 31 minutes with a random eyed, random bream, and then the other fish we talked about. So this spot is really nice. It is seems to be popping off. In all likelihood, that fish that got unhooked was a common carp, probably like a 3 kilo common carp or something. But mercifully, it popped off pretty quick, so I never got to see. Now, I will point out that the next 30 minutes, if we sat here for another 30 minutes, they're probably not going to. It's not going to be as lucrative. We might not see a total of. There's a tench. There you go. We might not see a total of 10 trophies in an hour just because we got 5 in the first 30 minutes. That's because those 5 hours, that half hour was the ideal trophy time for crucian gibbles. And we're still at the tail end of it now, so we could see a 6th one come in. You never know. But then you're going to sort of have to wait for the next late evening up until early morning time period to hit the next batch of trophies. But let's talk about what we're using here. By the way, this was brought to my attention from the VK site, Veronica Agapova. Thanks for posting this spot on VK. But this is what we're fishing with. I'm using a different ground bait. That's the only thing I'm doing different. Other than that, we're using loop rig, size 10 hooks on all 3. Night crawlers is the bait of the week right now for the crucian gibbles here at Mosquito. 6.8 carp braided line, fluorocarbon would be fine as well. And I'm using my pickers. Got some Bunis and picker action going. It's always fun when you have a chance to use pickers. Now, I don't have as much control over fish with pickers, so I could use my Bunis and feeders since I actually have skill points in feeders. And especially with the okay, we got to be careful here. We don't want this to get snagged on the boat. Okay, we're good. Especially with the possibility of a common carp, having a little bit more control would be nice, but I don't know. It's fun. Like, if you're not going to use pickers for catching crucian gibble trophies, you start to ask yourself, why do I have pickers? Obviously, they're for small fish, maybe arguably even smaller than this, but I would say this falls in the category of what I want to use pickers for, especially with this clip. Let's talk about the clip. We're at 7 meters. Okay, so the VK, the person that posted this on VK said 6 to 8. So I just went with 7 straight across, and that has worked great. Let's also talk about ground bait, because I'm using night crawlers as guys, we're not done yet. Because I'm using night crawlers as my bait to land all these trophies, I decided to complement that with the ground bait. So we still have the ingredients that you find in Crucian Gibble ground bait, which is the crackers, millet porridge, and sunflower oil attractant. But I've also thrown in redworm feed pellets 5 for sort of like a mid-size, component, chopped worm and maggots. So again, trying to bring in that appetite for the night crawlers, a very obviously wormy bait. So we're trying to complement that while still maintaining the components that are always found in your standard Crucian Gibble ground bait. By the way, if you're a low-level player wanting to fish this spot and try your chance at a trophy, never fear. They still have a really good shot of coming, I feel confident, even if you're using standard Crucian Gibble ground bait or no ground bait at all, possibly. So anyway, so that is the spot, that is the bait, that is the ground bait, and that's the story. So what are we at, 6 right now? 6 trophies. I cannot complain. Cannot complain at all. All right. So anyway, if you're wanting a good trophy spot, come check it out. I was just thinking in my head, like, wait, aren't they updating something soon where they're going to have collectible cards, and catching trophies gives you a better chance of getting those collectible cards? We still don't know how all that works or what all that means, or if there's a size requirement of the fish, like, with, maybe Crucian Gibble trophies are too small to count towards that. Who knows? We'll see. But that was just running across my brain in terms of, we're catching a lot of trophies here. Interesting. Okay. All right. I wish you the best. Tight lines. I'll see you next time.